finals, Hustler final series between Annatar and Koke45. I'm Trojan1979 along with Angry J93. How's it going?
Good. I see that we have updated your background set for this final series, or I just missed something over the last week while I've been away. But we should have very exciting finals for our crowd out there tonight.
I turned on the. Looks like we're in. Okay, woo. The spectator password is good. Make sure you guys can see that. Boom. Before they get started, I do want to pull up and show people where we're sitting in the standings. Talk about real quick what has to happen here. We have a 5-game series. This is fresh here, but looking at the available teams, Calgary, Chicago, Detroit. For Koke45, Annatar's got Detroit, Montreal, St. Louis, and they both have Washington available.
Yeah, in contrast to what we saw in the Genesis finals, a few weeks ago, where we saw a lot of Tier 1, Tier 2 teams, this is more of a hodgepodge of teams available, and it's going to be interesting to see how these teams get matched up, because there's some teams that are more skating based, other teams are more physical based. There's some good road teams here, good home teams. I think the matchups and who has home with which team is going to be a critical factor here in this series.
All right, so I did give them the green light. If you haven't yet, if you're new to seeing this channel, lots of content. We're dedicated to NHL94. All the qualifying tournaments that we do here, we want to get content in front of you. And this is to benefit the live event that will take place in 2022 of Edge 94 Midwest. Our target is going to be in that February time zone again, like we normally do. Location to be determined based on how things are developing in the country. But so just to kind of fill in for everyone, all of the prize money that came in, half of it is going to the winner today. The other half is going to feed that live event prize pool. So that encourages people to come on out. And, of course, the winner of this will get free entry should they be able to attend the event. Now, let's get into it. All right, we got Toronto, we got Winnipeg. Koke with Toronto at home. Winnipeg on the road for Annatar. Break down this matchup for us.
Toronto's the more defensive, slower, physical team of this two. Annatar likes to use his aggressive style, so we should see a good forecheck, and he's going to use Andrechuk here to be his main goal scorer, to just kind of plow through a lighter but swifter skating Winnipeg team, which on the road is perfectly capable of using their skill and skating to create enough space to have a lot of dangerous chances come up.
Jammed off to Davidoff from Solani, and it's 1-0 already. Annatar over Koke45 with 3:43 remaining here in the first period.
Excuse me, I got my players mixed up. Annatar's using Winnipeg, and he uses Winnipeg skating to recover that puck in the corner and find that quick one-timer on the back door.
And I apologize if I made the things a little bit bigger for you. That would have helped. And great to see chat all filled up already. Guys, really appreciate you hanging out. I know this has been a long journey. I'd like to give some props as well to some guys when we have a whistle. And a turnover put back by Jamnov, assisted by Solani officially in Toronto with the timeout already.
Koke going to the Bob Kudelski Memorial timeout, 2.5, or not even 2.5 minutes into this game. Just kind of a weird bounce in his goalie. He misread the initial movement of the Winnipeg player, and Annatar just tapped it into the empty net.
All right. So here comes Solani with the breakaway. And, oh my, how did Potvin go gadget legs? And a huge save now on the face-off in the Toronto zone. Oh, Davidoff gets his second goal.
Yeah, the goalie acrobatics of Felix Potvin be damned there on that miraculous diving save. Just a quick one-timer off the face-off, kind of Genesis-esque, but it's been a play that's recently been developed in Super Nintendo, and we just saw it right there.
Jamnov tries to put it down short side. Dave Ellett now up to Andrechuk. No, Davidoff. And Solani puts a slapper on. Ellett has it now the other way to Gilmore. Gilmore, one-timer to Andrechuk. Turned away. And the puck floating around in the crease. And a putback, but the essence is there. Nice goaltending by Annatar. Turnover. And now we have a whistle. Looks like Doug Gilmore cheated.
He certainly did, and we're going to see a line change immediately to avoid, I think it's Mike Foligno, who might be the default sub at left wing. we'll probably see John Cullen or Nikolai Borshevsky, it looks like, come in as a substitute for defense.
So is it McCown or McCoon?
I've pronounced it McCown.
Okay, because we're not going to Cartman on this. It's a Coon and McCoon. Not doing that. Okay, McCown. All right, 4-0. Wow, Housley. Salon, that was a terrible joke, and it's already Annatar imposing his will, having this tremendously fast and skilled team, and right now Koke on his heels.
And for any new viewers, don't forget that this isn't a traditional 5-game series. As we just see another goal here by Solani on the slick one-timer.
It's all about the goal differential in this at the end of these 5 games. So this one game, Annatar could lose 4 games and win this one and win the entire series.
Absolutely. So it's going to be critical for Koke to get goals like this at the very last second to try and salvage something here. You can't let this game slip away too far.
So this series is 5 games based on the number of players that we had and the way that the games worked out. And right at the end of the period there, Nikolai Borshevsky with a goal. And we're going to see some remaneuvering here by Koke45. Not to be confused with Colt 45.
Yeah, certainly not the current Houston Astros, as the Astros were the Colt 45s way back in the 60s and 70s. This Koke is more of a 90s type of guy, clearly playing NHL94. And looks like we saw Borshevsky, after that goal, come into the starting lineup and replacing Cullen. And we see 3-for-3 one-timers here for Annatar. He's just been finding those open passing lanes. He loves to pass the puck around. That's kind of his thing. He'll see 60, 70 pass attempts in a game from him normally. And they're being used to great benefit of his team. 5 for 6 shooting. And Koke getting his shots. So maybe those goals will tend to come.
And apologize that I'm just trying to keep tabs on. Sometimes players message me that are give me feedback, maybe outside of chat or whatever, but back to the action. Jamnov now on the wing and feeds it in. Potvin's got it to McCown. Jamie McCown to Borshevsky. Excuse me, that was rather Anderchuk, rather. Jamnov toddling, almost had his 6th goal, did Annatar. But Solani unable to handle it, and there is the Nikolai Borshevsky. 2 unassisted goals now. It's 5-2 here with 3:56 remaining in the second period.
Borshevsky has been the entire Leafs offense. Really nice deke there by Koke, and he's slowly creeping his way back into this game here.
Elliott to Borshevsky. If I was Winnipeg, I'd just go ahead and take him out of the game right now.
Yeah, certainly. He's been the one weapon to be worried about.
Solani in the slot to Davidoff. Then to Jamnov from Davidoff, and now turned away. And a turnover. Elliott has it, though. Potvin saved it. Up to Elliott. Now up to Borshevsky, who gets taken down. Phil Housley the other way. Phil Housley to Davidoff. And the one-timer scooped up by Jamnov, but now here comes Gilmore the other way. Anderchuk gets taken down. Davidoff taken down by Borshevsky. And a short side deke. So much speed there by Solani. Fredrik Olsson and Evgeny Davidoff with the assist. It's 6-2.
To your point about Solani's speed there, he makes it really tricky to switch over to manual goalie if you miss your body check with the defender, which Koke did there, and Annatar made no mistake.
McCown doing double duty as a goaltender and a defenseman. Anderchuk pipes it, and now Jamnov behind his own net, up to Fredrik Olsson. Olsson with a nice pass to Solani, who did not let it go off his stick right away, and Potvin skates too far out, freezes the puck. It's 6-2 now. We're going to have a face-off. 1:07 remaining here in the second period. McCown up to Gilmore. Into the zone. And a perfect stop and go all the way across the stick side of Bob Essensa. It's 6-3.
Despite Gilmore looking a little slow out there tonight, he was able to find that open lane through the middle of the ice. Both defenders just vacated. Housley and Olsson tend to do that at times, and Toronto made no mistake.
Olsson, speaking of the devil, in the slot doing damage, and he finds Borshevsky, who now has his hat trick, finally gets an assist from Dave Elliott. It's 6-4, and this is looking like a game.
certainly is this continued offensive output by Koke. He's just creating enough chances to stay in this one, and used his elusiveness. That's one of Koke's calling cards, is his elusive skating in the offensive zone to evade the defenders and find that one-timer. Now, Steen coming in to hopefully stem the offensive tide here of Winnipeg in Annatar's mind. He's the more defensive-minded player among he and Davidov.
All right, so welcome to intermission. One more frame to go in this first game of 5 games.
Yeah, you see the huge difference there in passing. Koke sub 40% even at home. His team, despite that, is still creating a lot of chances. 11 shots on goal for Toronto, 10 on for Winnipeg. That's a lot of shots in Super Nintendo. Usually you see 10 or 11 for a whole game on average.
All right, Thomas Steen is checked. And Borshevsky with some life. And vacant net, but turned away. Could not get it in the net. And Davidov just puts on the brakes, gets a hat trick, and Poffit says, I don't want to play goaltender anymore.
And it looks like Davidov actually switched wings, and sometimes the best move is no move. And, just hitting the brakes there, going, I think it was that Top Gun style, just hit the brakes and let the other guy pass right by, and you get the goal.
Professor is asking how much money is on the line. Your quick math. You take $15, you multiply times 32, and you divide by 2, and that's the split.
So that'd be $240 if my math is on point, as Dave Ellett strolls over to the box.
Paid by PayPal, friends and family, so you don't get dinged.
Yeah, we don't want to get dinged, but it looks like Ellett was dinged in that play, and we're going to have another line change. I didn't see who came in, but I would expect either Bob Rouse or probably just Bob Rouse. He's the main sub here for the Toronto defense.
Solani to Olesen to Housley to Steen. And a one-timer in the corner. And oh my gosh, vacant net, and Housley can't finish the deal. Poor Phil Housley.
Yeah, Winnipeg just unfortunate there. 2 close calls, and Toronto stays in this one.
All right, fast break up to Davidov. And turned away by Potvin. Turnover. Picked up, though. And you'll have to help me here who that defenseman 23D is.
That's Todd Gill that came in instead of Bob Rouse.
Todd Gill, all right. So Thomas Steen now taking the zone, trying to feed the puck up, and does to Davidov, who's hanging out in the net already. I mean, why not? Just give him the puck if he's there. 8-4 your score, and Koke now falling further behind, as was the beginning when they were both going in this direction.
Yeah, good thing this wasn't NHL 99, as Davidov had both feet planted in the crease behind the goalie as he tapped that pass in.
And a quick one-timer to Gilmore. Nicely defended by Essenson, perfect position. And somehow Solani got that short side. He gets a hat trick. It's 9-4. Now you're -5 if you're Koke45.
With those fast skaters and the hard shooters like Solani is, you can sometimes sneak it in that short side corner as he did on Poppin there. And this game's starting to stretch back out to what we saw in the first period, and Annatar recouping all those goals.
All right, so Olesen to Solani, and now you're in damage control if you're Koke. You do not want to give him any more goals. If you can get one more, get it. Steen to Davidov, and a one-timer bounce is off of McCown. Oh, he gives up the last one with 6 seconds remaining to Solani, assisted by Thomas Steen. It's 10-4, and it's looking like -6 is going to be Koke45's roll into game 2.
Yeah, not the damage control you're looking for there if you're Koke. He kind of turned the puck up over high at the blue line and gave up that last goal. It could be a killer.
Well, we're going to get that spreadsheet updated, and we're going to wait for the next matchup for these players. There's 4 more games, no matter who wins them. It's all about what the final goal differential is at the end of Game 5. So all 5 will be played regardless. If you're new to watching this particular Twitch channel, if you don't mind, give us the follow, the like, whatever Twitch's nomenclature is, because we will be doing more streaming along those lines. We also do Technical Super Bowl. We'll be doing some NBA Jam on this channel for the Hustler NBA Jam qualifier and some other things. So I'd like to thank Anger J for hanging out right now with us. I'd like to thank everyone who has been helping out all season long. Techno John, King Raph, Chaos, yourself. If I'm missing anyone else that was helping with data entry, apologies if I missed your name. By the way, King Raph, for all of his number crunching formulas and all of that on the spreadsheet made everything easier for not only myself, but everyone following along and keeping things up to date, much more so than they would be if it was just me. So thank you all. So we're trying to get the next matchup here for you.
Yeah, Coke still has plenty of firepower at his disposal to make up this difference, so certainly don't leave your seats. Grab some popcorn, grab an adult beverage of your choice, and just sit back and enjoy the next 45 minutes. I think it's going to be action-packed, and, if anybody could really come back from this, it's a Coke-type player who's very elusive in the offensive zone. He's going to create plenty of chances, as we saw in that game. His defense wasn't quite there on that game. His goalie failed him a couple times. The defenders were not in good position. But that can change very quickly in Super Nintendo with the home road splits and just the different matchups you can create with the teams that are left. And it looks like we're seeing Chicago, Montreal. Do we know who's home?
So Montreal is going to be Annatar.
Okay.
So he should be, I think he's home because it's supposed to toggle back and forth, but depends on how they went about the team selection. So, oh boy, they're right into it here.
Yeah, so this is Annatar's favorite team, the Habitants, as he's from Quebec, and he's actually using them in this classic season, so he should be very familiar with them. And Coke is using Chicago. This should be a pretty good team for him. Plenty of elusive skaters, Chelios, Roenick, Larmer. Looks like he's got Christian Rutu out there. He's a little bit of a heftier player who can maybe absorb some body checks, so expect more fireworks here.
Desjardins had a breakaway, now Steve Larmer. All right, and Patrick Waugh has it. And Brian Bellows loses the puck. Captain Kirk, here he goes. The breakaway, Steve Smith is there. Can he get the short side? No, Chelios now the other way after the Belfour save. Steve Larmer on the wing. Desjardins is stalking him behind the net all the way across crease, but Waugh stick side makes the save. Brian Bellows on the wing. One-timer to Stephen LeBeau. And it's wide of the net. Christian Rutu had it, but Bellows now has it. So he goes behind the net and feeds it to LeBeau. One-timer to Captain Kirk, turned away. Steve Smith has it. But a turnover and a one-timer attempt by Brian Bellows is wide of the net. Bellows now has it. Captain Kirk into the zone. Loose puck. Rutu with the scoop. Gives it to Larmer. LeBeau has it with a delayed penalty against Chicago. Brian Bellows. And a short side deke beats my buddy at Belfour. And it's 1-0. Assisted by Eric Desjardins and Stephen LeBeau.
Montreal finally hitting the net after all those initial one-timer opportunities that went wide. And just on that delayed penalty, Bellows saves all the trouble of the power play, putting it in himself.
Yeah, I just thought a missed opportunity. I could have sang the national anthem for all you guys. Could have done both of them, I think. Isn't Annatar Canadian?
He is, and so is Coke. We really missed out on the dual anthem, I think.
Man. 2-0 here. Kirk Mahler, assisted by Eric Desjardins. Short side deke. 50 seconds remaining here in the first period.
And we're seeing two guys you don't usually see in Genesis in the starting lineup capture some goals here in Super Nintendo, so we're seeing already the differences in the two games and how different players have different roles here.
Rutu stalking Desjardins. Turnover in the zone, now in the slot. Now it's turned the other way. Bellows. And gets it up to LeBeau with a short shot. And Jeremy Roenick the other way. And Roenick taken down just as the period ends. It's 2-0 here as we go into the second.
Really strong period there for Annatar. He limited Coke's chances, cashed in on a couple of his own. And I noticed that he's actually using a different defenseman from Schneider. No stat check there. He's using Lyle Odeline, number 24. He's more of a Super Nintendo play. Got the higher defensive awareness, and he tends to stay home.
I'm sorry, could you repeat his name again for me?
Lyle Odeline.
Lyle Odeline?
No, he's no henchman. It's Lyle. L-I-L-E. Yeah.
Lyle. Yay for internet and headphones. All right. Oh, Jeremy Roenick. Getting it back on the putback. And it's Steve Larmer and Steve Smith with the Apples, and it's 2-1. Coke now brings it within one goal.
Yep, nice play there in front of the net. Getting in his hands dirty was Coke, and getting on the board.
That was noses dirty.
No.
I'm sure someone's made that joke before, but Stephen LeBeau gets it right back, and we're back to a 2-goal lead for Annatar. Assisted by Kirk Mahler here with 3:41 in the second period remaining.
That was a really quick quick wrist shot, you'll notice that in Super Nintendo, the goalies don't necessarily mean as much. So you'll see Waugh and Belfort give up some softer goals, and there's still, a good capability of a high-scoring game here, despite the goaltending.
Shot put on Belfort, turned away. Steve Smith with it, being harassed by LeBeau, who gets it and feeds it to Muller, back to Desjardins. And LeBeau now on the wing. Bellows around the world. Puts the shot on net, and we're going to have someone crashing in to Belfort in the crease. So delayed penalty here against Montreal. Extra attacker on the ice. Finally touched up by Captain Kirk. And we'll go ahead and see Lyle Odeline. Wow, that's the, I had to visually see that name.
Yeah, it's a kind of a mouthful. You don't really know where his name is going, but I think Annatar tends to know where he will be, and we see a dual penalty here.
By the way, Heinz, thanks for the 300, whatever that is. I need to turn on Twitch alerts. I don't know enough about this e-begging stuff.
We'll see Koke also go to the line edit change, and he's going to move Larmer over to center as Ronick goes into the box with LeBeau, the incidental minors.
All right, so 4-on-4 skating for you, ice hockey style. All right, so Larmer now has it. Odeline with the check. Bellows is intercepted, and now chasing after it is Larmer. Odeline is checked by Larmer. Ruutu has it. Trying to find a lane and goes short side. Was patient. Ruutu assisted by Chelios. Nice goal there by Koke45. It's 3-2 with 1:16 remaining in the second period.
Annatar taking the goalie control there and anticipating one-timer despite it being covered by his defenseman, and Koke just outweighted that move and stuffed it into the short side.
Steve Smith takes it away from Captain Kirk. Steve Smith putting it right on the stick side of Waugh, turns it away. Desjardins feeds it to Bellows. And nice deke there, beats everyone. Gets everyone moving to the left, including the goalie. And assisted by Desjardins and Patrick Waugh. 20 seconds remaining here in the second period. It's 4-2.
Nice deke indeed. Bellows with the stop-up move at the hash marks. Just waiting for that defenseman to clear and then deposit that puck short side on the goaltender.
And the puck is clear, turned away there, had a chance. And we're going to go into the third frame. Annatar up by 2 goals in game 2.
You don't want to say this is a must-win game for Koke, but at the very least, if you're going to lose this game, don't lose it by more than 1. He's already at -6 before the game, now at -8 overall. A little bit fewer chances here in this game, 7 shots for each team. Koke just not having enough puck possession, or at least passing. 14 passes to 49. That's a huge discrepancy in those two stats. And I think it kind of paints the picture of how well Annatar is moving the puck, and maybe Koke is a little bit more predictable because of the lack of passing that he's been displaying here so far in these first 2 games.
And some final adjustments. And we're back to and welcome to the third frame. I'm Trojan with Angry J93. Thank you for watching here. We're in game 2 of the Hustler Finals Series. And as you can see in the indicators in the top right, Annatar controlling the Montreal Canadiens. He's at home, and then Koke45 has Chicago Blackhawks. And right away, Kirk Muller from Stephen LeBeau, and we're now extending to a 3-goal lead for Annatar, who is already up +6 in game 1. And at the end of 5 games, it doesn't matter who wins them, it's a matter of what the goal differential is. That's the whole concept here. Everyone can use the team one time in the tournament, no more.
Yeah, certainly Annatar trying to get the best of both worlds of winning and winning by a large margin here so far.
I see Chad is having fun right now. I trade JR for Owen Nolan, naturally.
Yeah,
one-timer from Steve Larmer. Pass from Steve Smith and Jeremy Ronick had. So 2 quick passes and the one-timer off the face-off. And it's 5-3, back to within 2 goals for Koke45.
We see Koke straining a couple passes together and showing that he can also score off the face-off with the one-timer and gets himself back into this one.
Larmer taken down, just too much humanity in front of the net. And now Captain Kirk. Hey, look, he went short side. Go figure. As Tekwo John pointed out, he goes there every time. Well, it seems that way when he scores, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and that's been the move until it's stopped by Koke. Annatar is probably going to keep going to the well.
Smith The other way to Rutu. One-timer, nice manual goaltending, getting Wah all the way over, did Annatar. And going short side again. There was no room either way for LeBeau, and he feeds it back now to Odeline. And Odeline up to Muller, who is just crushed. Roenick on his back. Muller to Bellows. To Desjardins to Muller. To LeBeau. And one-timer to Bellows. Stopped. Foot floating around, picked up by Smith. And LeBeau's taken down by Larmer. Larmer now into the zone. Taken down. Odeline up to Desjardins to Bellows. Bellows feeds to Muller in the zone. And turned away. Goes short side again, no doubt. And we may see some variation on that. One-timer in the slot to Roenick, turned away. And now we have a breakaway, and this time he goes cross to face the glove side of Ed Belfour, and LeBeau has another goal assisted by Bellows and Muller with 45 seconds remaining in the third period at 6-3.
Annatar finally switches it up, goes far side. You could actually see Koke try to push his goalie into the short side with his forward speed bursting back. And unfortunately, he screened his own goalie, and his defender was unable to knock that puck down from the far side goal.
And now it's about damage control again. If you can get one more goal, but you have to possess, and now you have to make sure you're not giving up another one. And under 10 seconds remaining here. And that'll do it. Your final in game 2. Annatar takes this one 6-3. And he's up 2-0, but that's not the important part. Right now, he is up 9 goals to Koke45's goal differential. So, yeah, let's look at this final stats here. We'll find out what the next matchup is.
Yep, again, closely contested on the shot clock, but the goals, I think the manual goalie by Annatar and the somewhat predictable offense so far that we've seen by Koke, which has been surprising. Like I said, again, he's very elusive. He's very creative on offense. We just haven't seen him at his best in these first 2 games. Annatar keeping him off balance. You know, over 2 times the passing, the efficiency on the percentage is just, you know, chef's kiss type stuff on that. What we're seeing from Annatar so far. And, you know, like you said, 9 goal differential so far. I'm seeing still plenty of firepower here for Annatar to score more goals or just even play defense. Yes, St. Louis, Washington left 2 defensive teams. Detroit, in which he can score more goals with. Koke has Calgary, Detroit, Washington. So he still has plenty of firepower. Thankfully, I mean, he's probably looking a little bit less for the lockdown defensive teams like Washington. But they have enough speed and creativity for Koke to still create plenty of chances to get himself back into this. But he certainly needs to win this next game and win it with some sort of margin.
Just waiting on communication so we can get the next game go, guys. But this is live, so appreciate the fill. If you're having fun in chat, I should say, let us know. If there's an idea for a tournament you'd love to see run, love to hear about it in chat as well.
Tecmo John pointing out in the chat that Annatar isn't having the best Classic season with Montreal right now. I do believe he's under 500 in the current Classic season, but we saw just how explosive they can be. As you know, he did a number on Koke's Chicago. They're winning 6-3. And now we'll have the matchup Detroit, Calgary.
So Calgary is going to be Koke45.
Okay.
Or Koke45 is going to be Calgary.
Okay, and they're at home, and Detroit has a low disadvantage on the road, so they're a great team to take into Calgary. They may even be skating and moving the puck around better than Calgary, as Calgary has the low home advantage. And sometimes you can get a dud game with that type of team at home.
Referring to Dangler, Hustler, Superfan, do another one. I mean, if we can get 32 players not named one of these 2 guys at the end of all of this that want to do it, I'll run it again. I'll run it 10 times. But let's get to the action, especially if I get all the help I got. It was tremendous. You guys are amazing. All right, Cicerelli tries to go short side. Go figure. We have an active suitor up to Reichel. Robert Reichel goes right into Shell today, and surprised there's not a penalty there. And McInnes instead of who does Halifax put in all the time?
As on defense for Calgary?
Yeah, he takes out McInnes and puts in someone.
Oh, it could be anybody. It could be Dahlquist, Petit, Musil.
Frank Musil. It's Frank Musil. All right, 14, Theo Fleury unassisted. And Koke45 strikes first here at home. It's 1-0.
And Critical goal there for Koke to get off on the right foot here and try and play from ahead and put the screws to Annatar a little bit.
And, Iserman not to be denied right away off the face-off. Double pass, Coffee to Fedorov. It's 1-1. We're all tied up here with 3:31 remaining in the first.
Couldn't have asked for a better response there if you're Annatar. Just quick one-timer. Beautiful setup.
Yeah, McInnes is in there. What I was saying, Chaos, is that I think Halifax prefers to take him out in lieu of Frank Musel. All right, there is McInnes. Speak of the devil and the flames. And it burns, burns, burns. Picked up by Shuldove up 2. Fedorov 2. Cicerelli tries to do a floater, and here's Suter. Puck is floating around. Suter has it up to Robert Reichel. And now this way comes Fedorov. He's taken down. Suter to Roberts. And he beats Tim Shuldove. Roberts from Suter. It's 1:32 remaining and a 2-1 score.
Chevalier trying to be very aggressive there at the top of the crease with his save animation, but Koke, just patiently, again, we've seen his patience in spurts here. Wait for that goalie and to go down, and he skated right by him, right into the empty net was the puck.
And there is the stop, the goal, the flurry goal assisted from Moneyern and Mike Vernon. It's 3-1.
Annatar's defense just looks like it's abandoning Chevalier, which is causing him to be over-aggressive with his goaltender. Again, he gets caught at the edge of his crease. Koke waits it out, and as the goalie resets, finds that far side on the crease cut.
Suter floating around. Bouncing off of Iserman. Finally takes the zone. Steve Chason there playing defense. Feeds it to Roberts. And is turned away by Shuldove, and now the puck is sent all the way to Vernon. Back up to Roberts to Fleury. Fleury is in the zone, avoiding Red Wings. And we're at the end of the first frame here in Game 3. It's 3-1 in favor of Koke45, who has a long way to go in goal differential.
He does have a long way to go, but this was a critical first step, much needed. 8 shots, incredible amount in Super Nintendo. Like I said, 11-12 is your general average. 8 is just incredible. And Detroit just not having the puck. 17 passes from Annatar is a very small amount for him. Calgary using their home ice here well. And finally we see Koke, show what he's really capable of. He's been showing a lot of development over the last probably year, I'd say. He's developed in one of the top players in Super Nintendo.
Puck floating around behind Vernon, who finally scoops it up and freezes the puck. He did have McInnes on the wing there, but decided to hang on to it, and now Coffee has it. Puts it right back on Vernon. Reichel somehow did not get destroyed on the boards there. Looked like he may have had a trip in the sin bin in front of him, but now he has the goal assisted from Mike Vernon, and it's 4-1. Koke45 extending the damage.
Yeah, Koke making the most of that fortuitous bounce off the boards as Reichel survived that check, like he pointed out. And just a sweet little backhand move. Chevalier exposed there on the far side yet again.
Robert Reichel, the standard EA special guy in Genesis, and now doing damage here on Super Nintendo. And a one-timer to Iserman, pass from Cicerelli. It's turned away. Roberts ping-pongs off the boards. And Coffee now up to Cicerelli on the right wing. And an overextension by Suter misses the check. The puck is floating around. Turnover in front of the net. And Vernon earning his paycheck right now. Now going up to Robert Reichel, who has that previous goal we just spoke of. And Roberts puts it on. Shuldove is turned away. Cicerelli behind the net. Tries to feed Chason. And the puck is all the way to the other end. And now here comes. Iserman takes the zone. Is being harassed by Roberts. Finally falls down. Fleury to Reichel. Reichel bouncing off of players. Goes short side. And Cicerelli picked off 2 of his own players. It's 5-1. Koke45.
If you just want, a bunch of replays of patient goal scoring, this is the game for you. As Koke, again, showing his patience, waiting for that forward to screen the goalie and just have a wide open net to slide the puck into there.
Going for the short side there, turned away. It was almost too obvious that that's why he went with it. And now Suter to Reichel. 2-on-1. 2-on-2. And goes short side. The one place where no one wanted to be. And he has the hat trick. Robert Reichel running away with this one. 5-goal making up a lot of ground right now if he can keep this momentum up. But now we have the token Dan K timeout to try to slow down, get some momentum back here for the Red Wings. Puck is loose. Vernon has it. Oh, turnover to Chason. And turn away. Vernon earned his money right now. Fleury in the zone, bouncing off of Chason, checked by Fedorov. Sergei Fedorov up to Dino Cicerelli. Puts a last-ditch shot at the end of the second frame. Hits 6-1 going into the intermission.
Vernon clearly looking for that playoff bonus here with some of the saves he's been making to keep this extended lead here for Koke, which is a critical thing for him to keep in this one. Like I said, he didn't need just to win this game. He needed to win with margin, and he's set himself up perfectly here for just... We saw, I think, at the Genesis side where Scribe, when he was facing King Raff, he fell behind several goals in that second or third game, and he's had to press, and it kind of burned him. And King Raff won with a large margin. What we're seeing by Koke is more patience, and it seems to be rewarding him so far.
And Jar scores 1 goal, and he calls the timeout right away. Oh, Koke.
Hey, better to try it now than to 2 goals from now and feel bad about it. So Koke trying to go with all of his tricks in this game to maintain the lead.
If Koke wins this, he has to change his name to Coke Zero.
Yeah, we can't take all these timeouts. The 45 calories with all the timeouts is just too much for us to handle. We're getting older. Our metabolism's a little bit slower.
So is my reaction time to calling what's going on the screen.
These guys are moving fast, and both these teams look like they're just flying out there right now.
Need some Paul coffee to wake me up. We got Eisenbart on the ice. That's always a nice sign if your name is... oh, gosh. Well, I know his real name. I can't remember the... Who had Detroit in the Heroes League?
Oh, shoot.
He was on the documentary all over the place. Snyder is last name. I can't remember what his
Oh, yeah. Perennial choker.
SOH.
Yeah, he loves him some Yzerberg. That's his main man.
Reichel wanted to go for 4. Oh, Gary Roberts doing some damage there, throwing coffee right into the bench. And now Reichel getting it to Gary Roberts and bouncing off of Red Wings. And Sheldovay comes right up, and now Iserman feeds it to Fedorov. Loose puck, scooped up by Vernon, now to Fleury. And what? Oh! Spin around, and he misses. He pipes it right out. He missed his 4th goal. Would have been huge.
Yeah, such a beautiful move there. A shame it hit the post.
I mean, it broke my ankles watching it. Someone take me to the hospital.
Yeah, that's why we're up here where we're safe.
Oh, God. That was a great deke. And now McInnes in the zone. Eisenbart is chasing him. And while really aggressive manual goaltending by Annatar there, had a brief window for another one in the slot. Chase on to Fedorov. Suter is in the vicinity. And a one-timer and completely missed the net did Iserman. Coming up to greet him was Vernon. Suter to Reichel. Reichel being toddled and finally gets that one. 7-2 your score. We got a 5-goal deficit here for Annatar here late in the third period.
You cannot stop Robert Reichel. You can only hope to contain him, just toddling right in front of Shovelday's face. He was pissed about the spinorama going awry.
Late chance there for Annatar, but not enough. 7-2 your final in Game 3. And let's look at the stats, and then we'll look at the sheet. Are you doing the updating right now, or is Raph, or who is doing that for us?
I'm throwing him in there. I think we're at 4-goal differential here in favor of Annatar. So that was a huge win for Koke. Really getting himself back into this one. If he only won by 1, we'd still be talking about how he really needs to hurry up, get in the saddle, and get some goals and play a more risky style. But that game allows him to play a more reasonable style here. I'm
not sure what the instant replay is about. We want to see the stats. I think that's what he meant to hit. Here we go. Game stats.
Wow, just an incredible shot output there by Koke. 18 shots. With how much patience he was showing, it was surprising to see that many shots. But he just had the puck so much, even despite the higher attack time for Detroit. For Annatar to only be throwing it around 40 times, it's not very snappy. He loves to snap that puck around, and I think he was really on his heels there. Maybe he's feeling a little bit of the pressure, or he got too conservative with his gameplay. we saw his defense abandon him at times, and he had to use an aggressive goalie, which just played right into Koke's hands with his patient approach.
Okay, so we're going to have Annatar St. Louis against Washington. So that's just the quick picture of what things look like right now.
Looks like we have Annatar at home with St. Louis, so they'll have that nice, hefty, strong home advantage with St. Louis. But Washington has the defense to counter Hull and Shanahan, two heavier forwards with a lot of skill. Hatcher and Iafrate on Washington, they can just, play physical with them. And I would expect this one to be maybe a lower scoring game, but again, with these two players and their offensive ability, I mean, we could see more goals. Who knows?
Okay, well, see, Brendan Shanahan, is he going to... Okay, you got Craig Janney over there. He's got Hull at center. But he looks like he has Brown and Butcher in there on the back end, which makes sense. All right, welcome to Game 4. It's 2-1 right now. The series doesn't really matter from a win-loss standpoint unless they end up with tie at the end of all of it. If they're the same goal differential at the end, it's whoever wins that. So that means if you're down a game, you have to win by at least one. Or you can't be tied at the end of this. So, Iafrate to Ridley. Ridley being held on the wing, finally taken down by Garth Butcher. Is that Brown? I can't remember. Is 21 Brown?
21's Brown.
Oh, okay, and 5
is
Garth.
Butcher.
Okay. I have trouble, just like I have trouble with the Leech and over on New York and which one's which. All right, so Brown to Shanahan, and the give and go. Shanahan to Hull. Back to Shanahan. It's 1-0.
I think that was designed to be a one-timer off that give and go by Annatar, but Beaupre was so heavily beat that he couldn't even come back to that post and cover it for Shanahan with the quick wrister, fires it in.
Some should tell Beaupre it's a Super Nintendo. It doesn't matter if he sucks.
Yeah, just show up and you might have a chance if you're a Super Nintendo goalie. It doesn't really, rating be damned.
All right, we have an interference penalty against Peter Bondra, Mr. Speedster.
Yep, and he's playing center tonight, and it looks like, you never know really who to put at center with Washington. Bondra's fast, but he's not a very good shooter. Ridley's a little bit slower, not a very good shooter, but he's the heaviest forward. And Kristich, he's often too slow to use his better shot, so it's just, you never know what to do there.
Butcher with the check. Brown turns it over. And now Brown to Hull to Shanny. Shanahan trying to go short side. Ridley playing goaltender. Pay him double.
Yeah, give him whatever Beaupre is making because he wasn't there to save it.
That's not Cote back there, is it? Who's 6?
So that's actually Kalle Johansson, an interesting sub in for Kevin Hatcher.
And we've got Kristich on the wing with a shot turned away, and now here come the Blues. Johansson taken down by Craig Janney, and we go into the second frame, 1-0 in favor of Annatar.
Koke's got to feel a little bit fortunate to get out of that period just down the one goal. There was a couple of opportunities there for St. Louis where you thought they may have had a goal there. The save by Ridley on the empty net. There was a misfire there later in the period by St. Louis with another empty net. So for Koke to get out of that, probably a win for him.
I think you got to get those big defensemen active in the Deke game.
Yeah, Iafrate is an ideal Deke defenseman for Washington. Even Kevin Hatcher, if he was on the ice, he's also a great guy to get involved on the offensive side of the puck. And we see St. Louis just dominating with their home ice advantage, 6-1.
Welcome to the second frame. I'm Trojan with Angry J93 here in Game 4 of the Hustler Series. This is the finals. Annatar and Koke45. Annatar came to this game 4 with a significant lead, but it was sliced down significantly by Koke45 in Game 3, and he's leading 1-0 as Annatar. And here comes Bondro taken down. He's going to have a penalty shot opportunity here, I think.
Should be, and there's the call from Don Kaharski, the referee for tonight's game here in St. Louis.
The most exciting play in all of hockey. And he gets him. The puts on the brakes, does Peter Bondra, and gets him glove side and ties the game. It's 1-1.
Annatar going to the Koke bag of tricks there. Koke going back to his bag of tricks. He's Washington. Got confused there. And outweighted the aggressive goalie one more time from Annatar. And a quick goal.
Oh, my Lord. What a one-timer. Maybe they'll go to the replay on that. That's unbelievable. Pavanka and Iafrate getting in on the assist game.
Pavanka taking advantage of his rare ice time, number 20. Don't see him too often in any version of the game. But that passing, you wonder if maybe he deserves a little bit more.
Janney on the wing going short side. Hey, looks, Annatar went short side again.
Go figure.
Johansson takes it away. Heinz57, we'll talk to you about who our favorite players maybe a little bit later. I do need the Smaz replay set up. Smaz is a big deal. I can only hope to live in his shadow. Here comes Shanahan. Shanahan to Janney. And there goes Iafrate. Oh, look at... Oh, I don't know how he got that past Cujo. It looked like he had that dead to rights, but he got it underneath the stick or something. 3-1.
I thought so, too. I thought that was destined for the leg pad, and he just was able to move his forehand ever so slightly further away from his body and find that empty side of the net. It's just an incredible move.
Oh, nice action back and forth. We saw the give and go from Shanahan to Hall. He went to the well again, and he gets a bucket full. It's 3-2.
Yep, second give and go goal here for Annatar. Gets the one-timer on this one. They're making it look all the much sweeter. And the wraparound now. Just goals coming from every direction here.
I don't know how that went in.
I don't know if the goalie was screened or he got caught on his post. Beaupre. Sometimes that happens with Super Nintendo. I see the professor do it a lot. I've actually been trying to do it myself a lot with some of the behind the net stuff, but that was executed to perfection there by Annatar.
Pavanka loses it there, and looks like Brown to Janney to Hull, and we are at a tie game already. With all of that action, just like that, all of the work that Koke did is erased, and then some. Brett Hull assisted. It's 4-3, 1:12 remaining here in the second period, and the desperation mode may be kicking in soon if you're Koke.
Certainly, the home crowd bringing the Blues to life here in the second half of the second period, and just 3 unanswered goals. Just all of the beautiful type here by Annatar.
Cujo comes out and says hello. Garth Butcher is going to spend 2 minutes in the box.
Yeah, big power play here for Koke to try and tie this one back up.
Iafrate on his heels. Brown has it, takes the zone, and puts it on net. Bonder now with a 4-on-2. And taken down by Hull. The awareness on the Capitals was not tremendous there. And that'll end the second period. 4-3 Annatar on a tear in the second period. Koke45 with some work to do in the third.
This is this is probably the TSN turning point of the finals here. If Koke can get himself a big period, win this game by a couple goals, we have ourselves a heck of a game 5 coming up. If Annatar is able to hold on to this lead and possibly even expand it, Koke is going to have a ton of work. He's going to play extremely risky in game 5.
Well, welcome to the third frame in game 4. Annatar up 1 goal. And just like that, Callie Johansson, and assisted by Peter Bondra, and we're all tied here at 4 in Game 4.
Kale showing he can also get involved on the defensive side, from the defensive side, playing offense for Washington. He's another big defender who can skate fairly well and showed his abilities on that one.
Attempted give and go to Johansson is turned away. Beaupre scoops it up and up to Bondra. Brown is there, takes him down. Cujo scoops it up, gets it up to Shanahan, up to Hull. And now take to Greg Janney, and the one-timer back to Brett Hull. So living on that give-and-go one-timer, it's 5-4 Brett Hull with the hat trick.
Hull didn't miss the mark on that one, used his maximum shot power to the maximum effect there, as Beaupre has looked exceptionally bad, even for a Super Nintendo goalie.
Bondra dancing around, avoiding players. And we have the Dieter Rule organ rockin' and roll here. A lot of organ tunes here in St. Louis.
Saints doing a lot of marching.
Pavanka. Pass can't be handled. Here comes Iafrate. He says, I can shoot it too, but he went for the deke instead. Hull to Janney, turned away, but turnover in the slot. And my goodness, almost another goal given up by Beaupre. And there is another one. Shanahan to Hull for the 4th goal in the game for Brett Hull. It's 6-4 with 2:19 remaining here in the 3rd period. Annatar over Koke45.
Despite that really nice manual goalie save by Koke, that turnover comes back to Burnham as the eventual one-timer, and he recoups it right back. Johansson again getting involved on the offense.
Johansson is turning into the MVP of this game for Koke.
Yeah, the defense is 3 goals on their own here for the Caps. They are keeping them in this despite giving up 6.
And too many holds that aren't turning into body checks. And Beaupre just out of position. Hull with his 5th goal assisted by Shanahan and Garth Butcher. It's 7-5.
Hull seems to be honing in that shot. That's a couple goals for him now. And it's tough to stop him when he gets to unleash a slapper like that.
And a crash right into Cujo. There's going to be a penalty against the Capitals, and I guess not because he scored there before the penalty was called. Hull from Shanahan to Joseph. It's 8-5.
Yeah, nice patient approach there by Koke despite being surrounded by Capital defenders. And now we have a 3-goal lead here.
And if you are Annatar, your staff may be getting those champagne bottles ready.
Yep,
Game 5 to be played, but there's a large deficit for Koke to overcome here.
Certainly getting them prepped up. They've been ordered, and they're en route to the destination for our Game 5. We'll see if Koke can limit the damage here on this power play.
And Brett Hull making this a -4 here for Koke going into Game 5.
And that looked like just a pure hole slapper. Annatar is one of the few players who will use slappers in Super Nintendo, which is they're less effective here than they are in Genesis.
All right. Well, your stars of the game, Brett Hull, Brendan Shanahan, and Peter Bondra. And we have -4 here to Koke45. So, my goodness, you know, we hope that the last game is competitive. Be interested to see just how much he could dig in, but it looks like Koke has an actual mismatch on his remaining teams. So, what 2 teams are in the mix?
So it'll be Koke with Detroit, Annatar with Washington. This game, I'd probably feel pretty comfortable with Washington in this matchup because as long as they are even moving in this game, they can knock down Detroit with aplomb. So it's going to be on Koke to use his elusive tactics to try and create a ton of scoring opportunities, which, you know, if Beaupre plays like he just did in this last game for Koke, you know, there's no reason why Detroit can't just go hog wild here if they get some space.
So as we see here, with the remaining games here, so is that last score in yet? I think you put it in the wrong, or am I looking at the wrong thing here? Or we're missing the score in. Okay.
Let me check my.
I might have to refresh it. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So he's got -8, which means because he's lost the games, he's going to have to be at +1. So he's going to need to win by 9 goals.
No problem.
Right. So I think I'm going to pay out 100-1 if he beats him by 9 goals, and that's pennies.
Hey, no risk it, no biscuit.
Oh, you know what? I'd like to, again, thank everyone for being with us all season. I know it's summertime, things are going on. I'll use this moment here to highly suggest that if you haven't yet, sign up for the NBA Jam Hustler Tournament. We are looking for 33 players. That's our ideal number. If you can do NBA Jam with us, it's going to be on the Super Nintendo emulator for this because it's the most stable net play. But both Genesis and the Super Nintendo are great versions. Great home ports. A lot of us played either. If you played one, you've played the other, believe me. So, all right, let's go back to the game. And we've got a one-timer right in front of the crease, Cicerelli, assisted by Chasson and Sheldove. So Koke45 gets his first of 9 goals that he needs, assuming he pitches a shutout here.
Yep, these are all pretty safe assumptions. We see what's coming, really. No surprises here. But +1 here for Annatar in the Dan K scorebook as Fedorov is going to be limping off the ice
Is
here.
Eisenbar coming on?
That's Isabart. He's the main Detroit sub aside from Bob Probert. That's Dan K's first sub. Well, he's not even sub for Dan K. That's just a number one guy on the dot, man in the offense, coming back on defense. He's everywhere as Bob Probert in Dan K's lineup.
And I'm very thankful both these competitors are, just finishing this all out. Those of you that haven't finished your consolation game, shame on you.
Yep, get them played, and we'll get you on the stream in the finals for that.
Yeah, you guys get the stream treatment. You can play. Oh God, who's the Jammer? Yeah, Jammer's in the finals. So okay,
Jammer's incredible player.
He's won something big before. I can't remember what it was. Oh wait, yeah, Vancouver. Not Vancouver. I'm sorry, Vegas.
Vegas and his buddy Fed won Vancouver. They've been the tag team duo before.
And we're all tied, so I guess another 9 goals here needed by Koke45. Get on it, Coke. Come on.
Yeah, let's see some excitement here. Just get a couple goals, no problem. And then we'll see a big second period. Yeah, Eisenberg, here he comes.
SOH wants Eisenbart to be the MVP for the period, so that's not happening.
Nope, another +1 for Annatar in the injury count. So that's you should get a bonus for getting 2 guys hurt in the same period.
Dallas Drake, or are you going to go with Probert?
You can go. Let's see Probert. Come on, Ray Shepard. What is this? He's slow. He's light. He doesn't have a very powerful shot. All right. Well, maybe Coke knows something we don't know.
Koke45. Maybe he's into the Colt 45s. Who knows?
Yeah, he's got the old 70s jersey with the large 6-shooter up on his wall.
Shepard got in there. All right, picked up. Nope, puck is floating around. Here's Cicerelli. Oh, Luza said he had him beat on as far as timing is concerned. He couldn't hang onto the puck. Paul Coffey is poke checked. Cote. And someone crashed into him.
The professor pointing out that I have no love for Ray Shepard, and that is correct because Ray Shepard was traded to the Sharks for Igor Larionov, who was one of my favorite players in the early 90s. So you're right. I do have no love for him.
Mike Ridley going to spend some time in the box as well. Why not? Do a little 5-on-3 special. Koke45 on the power play. We'll call it the Trojan Water power play.
Yeah, it's a big sponsor here. Major revenues coming in on that sponsorship, helping us provide this stream to all of our viewers tonight. It looks like Detroit, they're creating some chances, but they need to create a lot more here. This 5-on-3 is just going to be the first step on the long road to a possible comeback here for Coke.
All right. Jason feeding it to Fedorov, who takes the zone. We're all tied here. If you're joining us late, this whole tournament in Game 5 here of a 5-game series in a -9 differential for Koke45 going into this game, or -8, excuse me, and because he loses the tiebreaker, he needs to win by a total of +1, which means he needs to be a +9 in this game. And Detroit gets there unassisted by Paul Coffey going coast to coast. It's 2-1, so he needs another 8 goals on top.
Needs a lot more goals, but that was a pretty sweet one there by Coffey on the backhand floater. Those are pretty tricky in Super Nintendo and always a sight to see.
Iafrate with a big slapper to Bondra. And all the way around the horn to Beaupre, who freezes the puck. We'll have a face-off in the Washington zone. It's 5-on-4 power play. Excuse me, no, it is even strength. My apologies. All this red-on-red crime is blurring my vision. Maybe it's the Trojan water, or who knows?
Yeah,
it's literally just his water, guys. It's just water. It's late Sunday. All right. Jason, wow, he was really slow right now. Or maybe just getting held a lot. But one-timer to Iserman and turned away. Beaupre gets it up to Iafrate to Ridley on the wing. Iserman the other way being held up. And Bondra feeds it up to Kristich. Turned away by Sheldove. Jason. Into the zone. Iserman taken down by Iafredi. Jason intercepts the pass from Ridley. Cicerelli is checked behind the net. I don't know who that was, but he's dead.
Doesn't matter anymore. Get a new guy out there. It's like Mutant League hockey.
Maybe people play that. Maybe we'll do a tournament for that.
Yeah, if we could fix the frame rate, we might have something there.
That's true. Beaupre flipping it away. Kristich with a slapper. Turned away. That's going to end it here. Pretty ambitious Koke45. By the way, we do want to get the winner on for an interview. So if you're willing to stick around for that, if you have questions in chat, we'll make sure to, whether it's Annatar Koke45. And I'll try to pick out the most thoughtful ones. And if maybe at the end of this time for a funny one or two, we'll ask that as well.
Yeah, I'll have to make room in my booth for Annatar to come join us. I'll have to share a microphone, but we'll make it work.
Yeah, I'll move something around so it looks prettier. Right. So quick one-timer to Cicerelli, and it misses the net, goes around the back of the net. And Kristich picks it up. Coffee had it, but he lost it. And Cicerelli tries to feed Coffee in the crease. Coffee in the crease sounds like something you could buy.
Yeah, early in the morning, use a good cup of coffee, and there's Detroit finally getting on the board there.
So you just need 7 more. Let's go. Let's go Koke45.
Yeah. I know it's an ongoing thing with the community where no one has ever come back from 6-goal deficit. So maybe we see history here.
In either case, if you're with me, if you're with us, we thank you. If you haven't done all that social media stuff, if you want to go ahead and like the page, we appreciate that. We'll do a lot of stuff on here. We turn on alerts. Do their best to let everyone know in Discord, but sometimes maybe you don't have that open and you want to know when we go live. Well, there it is. All right. Up to Iserman. And pass back to Chason. 2 minutes. Coming up on 2 minutes here. And a shot missed by Kristich. And there is the goal by Peter Bondra, assisted by Al Iafredi. And now they're getting the champagne ready in the locker room for Annatar.
Absolutely. The Washington's or Annatar's memorabilia will be on sale here immediately after the final of this Game 5. And the Coke Championship clothing will be sent abroad and donated as clothing to those in need.
Yes, the Koke45 Championship hats, just like the, I don't know what year it was, with the San Jose Sharks a number of years ago. Probably a lot of people in Vietnam and the Philippines wearing championship, Stanley Cup champions. I'm sorry, friend, I'm sure that hurt.
Maybe I should go live there, because then my dreams would come true.
30 seconds remaining here. Trojan Angry Jay. We're going to get Annatar on here at the end of this one. Dark Lord willing. And that'll do it. Your final score, 3-2 in favor of Koke45. But Annatar with the overall goal differential, and he is your Hustler Final Series champion. And we're going to go ahead and message him and try to get him in here shortly.
Yeah, just a great effort there by Annatar over these 5 games. Won 3 out of 5, and the ones he won, he made really count. And, you know, major props to Coke. He played a hell of a tournament. I mean, in this one, you had to play incredibly well just to get to these finals. And I think at certain moments in this finals, we saw why Coke certainly was one of these 2 finalists, and an incredible showing on his part to come second in this tournament.
All right, so I sent him the invite. Let's hope that he decides to join us. I'm going to go ahead and start rearranging things so that we can, you know, we'll bring in guys both on the call.
Yeah.
And try to go side by side or something. I don't know.
Look at how big my face is.
Oh, yeah, you're one good-looking guy here. One
How's
good-looking guy.
How's everybody doing in the chat now that I'm right in your home? And Trojan also invading.
And we'll get these camera names out of here. So hopefully he joins me soon. Yep, he's going to join us in a moment here. So this is my makeshift get everything in such a way that we can hear it, but and see people's faces. And I'm going to go ahead and close the emulator just to get that sound on. I'm sorry, guys. That's the end of that. So, did you guys like this tournament? I'll say this. The Super Nintendo community came way out better than the Genesis, and I aligned myself, in the Genesis camp, not like in a fanboy way, but I just play that more. But I was very pleased by how many Super Nintendo players came out, and I don't know if that's a function of that the emulator seems to be a little more stable for net play than the Genesis version. Maybe that's in my head, maybe that's placebo, but that's what I've been told. That's been my experience. But yeah, great job, Super Nintendo players. You guys came out in droves, and it's been a pleasure working with all of you.
Yeah, I think on Super Nintendo side, it's a more wide open playing field, which I think allows itself to be a tournament more for everybody, really, because there's so many people that can actually win this thing. Like you said, you would run this tournament 10 times if there was that much interest, and I guarantee you we would have 10 different winners, because that's how many people in this community can win it. And I wouldn't be surprised if more can win it than just 10. So if we had any other ones, I think you would see a completely different result, and it would just be just as exciting to watch.
I agree. So again, waiting for our friend. He's coming in. All right. And I'm assuming he's wearing pants, but we don't know. Welcome, Annatar.
How's it going, man?
This is great. I'm going to see if we can't get this arranged a little differently on things. Well, that's not it. We don't want a whiteboard. I should learn how to do this before we do it. But yeah, you're in the mix here. And get you right in the. I think this will work. Hey, awesome! I think we got it going here. Annatar, the winner of the Hustler. Do we have the final score tabulated here in the spreadsheet? Is this
we
done?
do?
Okay.
Yes.
So ended up being a +7 in a 5-game series. That's very strong. That first game was just set the tone. What was your thought process going in as far as did he call the first matchup or did you?
Yeah, well, he won the coin toss, so he wanted to go home for game 1. So I made him pick first. So he picked Toronto, and then I picked Winnipeg. I don't think Toronto's his favorite team. He probably was looking to get that one out of the way, but obviously I started off well. But,
Absolutely.
yeah, no, I mean, look, just great playing by Coke. Like even with the first 2 games going my way, he still finds a way to come back in with that blowout win in game 3, I think. And he just has a way of adapting over the course of a series, right? Like he just finds weird goals that shouldn't go in, and he finds a way to frustrate you. So
100%.
really fun series. Good work by him. I'm thrilled that I was able to pull it out.
Yeah, you did a tremendous job. It was a pleasure calling it. A lot of back and forth. I think that you scored this goal. There was basically you're behind the net, skating around to the left side of the ice at the bottom of the screen, and found a way to get in the net. Were you playing defense at that point, or were you the one who scored that goal?
I'm trying to remember which goal you're talking about.
The puck looked like you were behind the net, but it went in sideways and beat the goal.
Like on a wraparound, or
wraparound. Yep.
Oh, I think that was me. Yeah, that was me with St. Louis, I think, where the goalie gets stuck on the net sometimes, and you can tuck it short side. Those are fun.
That was unbelievable. We were all in shock when we saw that one, for sure. We're going to just go to chat in a moment, but you guys, if you have your questions, you want to get Annatar to answer anything for you, we do have a lot of congrats and GGs. Bob Kudelski saying, congrats, Annatar, the Hustler. The Professor, hooray for Annatar, great playing, Coke. Congratulations, Annatar, from Mr. Bison, and GGs from Heinz57. Ingrid J., any questions here for Annatar?
Yeah. So what I noticed especially in the first couple games is that there was a lot of shots put on by both teams, and clearly you're in the first couple games, especially you were much more successful in converting those shots into goals. What were you trying to do? Anything specific on defense to try and limit Coke's high danger chances, as opposed to just letting him fire from the outside, perhaps?
Like I was just trying to go into it to play aggressive because I know Coke can play like a really patient sort of game. So I just figured like I want to set like a high tempo kind of forechecking kind of game. And I knew that, you know, he doesn't pick like heavy players all the time. Some of his teams didn't have the heaviest forwards, so I knew I could just go at them. But for whatever reason, I was just finding those one-timers early on, and then I think he just really tightened up. Like I feel like in the second half of the series, those passes weren't getting through, unless it was like Janny to Brett Hull or something in that one game where they started to go in. But that's a great passer and a great shooter. So,
I have a question from 94 Dangler Annatar. What was your strategy for the last 5 teams you left for the finals?
so my strategy was, unfortunately I had to burn all my best teams in the final in the second to last round because I was facing off against Dangler, Prof, and Coke. So I had to burn, I think, Boston, New York, and I forget who else. Someone
Pittsburgh.
else really. Yeah, probably. I think I already used Pittsburgh. And so my strategy was really just leave teams left that are playable with, that I know I could take them up against most teams. And I knew Coke didn't have like his big hitters left either. So it was really just to pick a selection of teams that I wanted to, pick the order I wanted to run them in. And there were certain teams I didn't want to play on the road with, so I managed to avoid that, and it worked out.
And a question from Mr. Bison, NHL94. What, if anything, surprised you in this tournament?
In the tournament, well, I think just how hard it was, like from the beginning, right? Because like it wasn't like in a lot of tournaments, like in King of '94, you end up the round robin. Sometimes you're playing against guys that it's like their first time at an event or something, and they're not as strong. But I think I was third out of 4 in my first pool. Like it was just hard from the get go. So we had 32 really good players, and it was fun to play a different format. Like where you really have to just go for goals, even if you're winning, which is not my style. So it was fun to try and play that kind of style.
And Koke45 wants to know, what will Annatar spend his prize money on?
That's a good question. Well, once I convert
because
it
you
to
can buy a
Canadian
house with
dollars,
like when
yeah,
we convert
exactly.
it to Canadian dollars, it's worth like $1 million, right? I mean,
Yeah, exactly. So I heard you were going to pay me in Bitcoin 1 to 1. Is that what it was?
no,
Um,
pennies. No. I think we had 100 to 1 odds on Coke coming back there with a 9-goal win in the last game. There, that was that's tough to win against someone who doesn't know how to play. So that was a little joke there, but no. So I think we covered this earlier. So we had it was 15 times the 32 players. That's 480 divided by 2. Half goes to our live event. So you get $240 coming your way USD via PayPal when we're done here. And then should you find yourself able to do it when we hold the event, you'll have free entry to our live event if you can swing that. So non-transferable, but if you can make it, we want you to. But congratulations, man. You took. I mean, this is. I don't know whether any names that were really missing from this that would normally participate, because this was it was a stacked event from day one.
well, there's one big name who seems to win most of the events he plays in, which would have been Mikhail, right? King of '94. But we had a really strong field anyway, so I was happy with it for sure. And you guys did an awesome job streaming. I mean, AJ, I'll have to catch your commentary after, but from what I heard from you, Troy, it was always a pretty good stream. So nice work.
Oh,
It was fun.
appreciate
Thanks for
that.
organizing.
Well, guys, thanks for tuning in today. Thank you, Annatar, for joining us after. I know it's a long process to go through all that, and you and I'll connect when we disconnect, and we'll get you everything you have coming to you. Angry Jay, thank you for calling it. Tecmo John, King Raph, Chaos, everything you did behind the scenes. Thank you. And everyone who watched
Yeah.
and helped share the stream and help build the hype to get the bodies in here in the first place, because if it wasn't for all the people in the Super Nintendo community, we wouldn't have had enough people to do it quite the way we wanted to. So we're going to wrap it up. Everyone, have yourself a good night. Congrats to Annatar, and we are